I remember the moment like it was yesterday. I was frustrated, stuck, tired of running in circles, making the same mistakes, wondering why success always seemed just out of reach. He changed everything. And then I met a man who changed everything. He wasn't flashy. He didn't try to impress me. He didn't give me some long speech, filled with complicated words. He just looked me in the eye and told me something so simple, so direct that it shook me to my core. And in that moment, I realized this was what I had been missing. This was the truth I had been avoiding. This was the shift I needed to make. If I ever wanted to change my life, it wasn't a secret. It wasn't a secret. It wasn't a trick. It was something I had probably heard before, but never truly understood. Success isn't complicated. And that's when it hit me. Success isn't complicated. Growth isn't complicated. Life doesn't hold back what you deserve. It gives you exactly what you're willing to become. But most people never become the kind of person who attracts success. They wait, they hope. They wish things were different. They keep doing the same things, thinking one day life will magically change. What he told me, it doesn't work that way. And the words this man told me, that one conversation, forced me to see the truth. It forced me to take responsibility. It forced me to stop waiting and start doing. And what he said to me that day, that's what I'm about to share with you. But here's the thing. These words will mean nothing if you hear them, but don't apply them. They will change nothing if you listen, but don't act. Because the truth isn't enough. The truth isn't enough. You have to live it. So as I share this with you, ask yourself, am I ready to change? Am I ready to do what it takes? Because if you are, what you're about to hear might just change your life forever. It all started with a simple question. I'd been going through the motions, working hard but getting nowhere, frustrated that my life wasn't moving in the direction I wanted. And then I met a man named Earl Shoof. He was different. He was different. Not just successful wise. The kind of man who didn't have to raise his voice to command attention. The kind of man who made you feel, within minutes of speaking to him, that he knew something you didn't. And that day when I told him about my struggles, about how I was trying so hard but nothing was changing, he looked at me and asked, Jim, how much money have you saved so far? I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I laughed it off, made some excuse about how it was tough, how I had bills to pay, how I wasn't making enough to put anything aside. And that's when he said it. Jim, if you don't have any money saved, the problem isn't your income, the problem is you. The problem is you. I was stunned. That wasn't what I wanted to hear. I wanted advice on how to make more money, how to get ahead. I wasn't expecting him to tell me that. The real issue was me. But he wasn't done. Your habits, your philosophy, your discipline. That's what's holding you back. Money doesn't make you wealthy. Habits do, and if you don't develop the habits of wealth, while you're broke, more money won't fix it. It'll just make your bad habits more expensive. That was the first lesson. That was the first lesson. And it hit me hard because up until that point, I had been blaming everything except myself. The economy, my circumstances, my lack of education. I had 1,000 reasons why I wasn't where I wanted to be. Your bank account is a reflection. But he forced me to see the truth. Your bank account is a reflection of your habits. Your health is a reflection of your habits. Your success, your relationships, your happiness, all of it comes down to what you do every single day. And if you don't like the results, you don't change the outcome, you change the cause. It was like a light bulb went off in my head. I had been working hard, but I had never worked on myself. I was looking for external solutions to an internal problem. So I asked him, what do I do? Start small. How do I change? He smiled. Start small. He said, if you can't save 10 cents out of $1, you won't save 10,000 out of 100. Zero if you can't take care of what you have now. You won't take care of more when it comes. Build the habits first, and the money will follow. That's when I realized success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. If you want to be wealthy, act like someone who values their money before you have a lot of it. If you want to be successful, act like someone who is disciplined before you see results. Because life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you deserve. I started small. So I took his advice. I started small. I set aside 10 cents from every dollar. It wasn't much, but it was the habit that mattered. And something incredible happened. Saving money became normal. My mindset shifted. I stopped seeing money as something that just came and went and started treating it with respect. And as I changed, my results changed. I started managing what I had better. And when I started making more, I kept those same habits. That lesson transformed my life. Because it wasn't just about money. It was about everything. Your habits today are creating your future. If you are careless with your time now, if you are careless, you won't be productive when life gets busier. If you are lazy with your health now, you won't suddenly become fit when you get older. If you neglect personal growth now, you won't magically develop wisdom later. Your daily actions, the things you do when no one is watching, are shaping your destiny. So the question isn't how do I get more? The question is, how do I become better? New mindset. That day I left with a new mindset. But Mr. Schoaf wasn't done with me yet. A few weeks later, I came to him with another problem. I told him I was still struggling. I was working harder than ever, but I still wasn't seeing the success I wanted. And he asked me a simple question. Jim, how valuable are you? Value. I didn't know how to answer. I thought about my job. I thought about my paycheck. I thought about how much effort I was putting in. Then he said, let me put it this way. If you want to be paid more, you must become more valuable. The marketplace doesn't reward effort, it rewards value. I had never thought about success that way before. I always assumed if I just worked harder, things would improve. But he made me realize it's not about how hard you work. It's about how valuable you are. And then he said something that changed my life forever. You don't get paid for time. You get paid for the value you bring to the time. Why? Think about that for a moment. Two people can work the same 8 hours, but one makes 10 times more than the other. Why? Because success isn't measured in time. It's measured in value. That's when I realized if I wanted to change my income, I had to change me. I had to increase my skills. I had to develop my mind. I had to become better. Jim, if you want to have more, you must become more. Success. It was so simple, but it explained everything. Why some people struggle while others thrive. Why some people stay stuck in the same cycle for years, while others break free. Success isn't about luck. It isn't about waiting for the right opportunity. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts success. If you want things to change, you have to change. If you want things to get better, you have to get better. If you want more, you have to become more. My decision. That's when I made a decision. I would never again complain about my circumstances. I would never again wish things were easier. I would work on myself until I became the kind of person who naturally created success. I started reading every book I could get my hands on. I listened to the best minds, studied the best strategies, and surrounded myself with people who had what I wanted. World doesn't give you what you want. Because remember, the world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you deserve. If you're not getting paid enough, it's because you haven't increased your value. If you're not getting the opportunities you want, it's because you haven't developed yourself enough. If you're not seeing progress, it's because you're still operating at the same level. Most people hope for things to change. They wait for the right timing, the right conditions, the right circumstances. The wealthy keep getting wealthier, but nothing changes until you do. That's why the wealthy keep getting wealthier. That's why the successful keep finding new opportunities. It's not because they're lucky. It's because they keep growing. They keep learning, they keep becoming more valuable. So I made a decision I would become valuable. I stopped blaming, I stopped waiting. I stopped making excuses, and I started working on me. Within a few years, my entire life changed. My income skyrocketed, my confidence grew. My relationships improved. Not because the world became easier, but because I became better. And that's the truth most people miss. Most people miss. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for fewer challenges. Wish for greater wisdom. Because the moment you focus on becoming, your entire life transforms. Success isn't something you chase. After that conversation, I started thinking about everything differently. For years, I had been chasing success, trying to find the right opportunities, trying to meet the right people, trying to figure out the secret to getting ahead. But Mr. Scoff helped me see that success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract. And the way you attract success is by becoming the kind of person that success wants to be around. One day I asked him, what's the difference between the people who succeed and the people who never do? And he gave me an answer I'll never forget. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people. Jim, successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. Not because it's easy, not because they always feel like it, but because they have trained themselves to do what needs to be done, no matter what. What do you do every day? That was it. That was the difference. Discipline, consistency, the ability to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Then, he asked me something that hit me like a ton of bricks. Jim, what are you doing every day? Because what you do every day is shaping who you're becoming, and who you're becoming will determine what you have. I had never thought about it that way. I had been hopping for better results, but my daily habits were the same. I was waiting for motivation, waiting for inspiration, waiting for the perfect time. But the people who win in life don't wait. They move. They take action even when they don't feel like it. They show up every day. They don't let circumstances dictate their behavior. They decide who they are and act accordingly. And that's when I understood something life-changing. Success is a habit. Success is a habit. Failure is also a habit. You don't just wake up successful one day. You don't suddenly become wealthy, disciplined, or confident. You become successful by practicing success every single day. And you fail by practicing failure. Like, if you procrastinate today, it's easier to procrastinate tomorrow. If you make excuses today, it's easier to make excuses tomorrow. If you waste time today, it's easier to waste time tomorrow. But if you take action today, you're more likely to take action tomorrow. If you stay disciplined today, You're more likely to stay disciplined tomorrow. If you do what needs to be done today, it gets easier to do it every day after that. And that's when I realized there's no someday. Take control of your days. There's only today. Jim, your future is being built right now. Every action you take today is shaping the person you'll be next year. 5 years from now, 10 years from now. If you're not taking control of your days, you're not taking control of your life. That conversation changed me. I stopped thinking of success as something out there, in the future. I started seeing it as something I had to live, right now, today, in this very moment. And when I started living like the person I wanted to become, my results changed. Not immediately, not overnight. My results changed. But day by day, my habits improved. My discipline strengthened. My value increased, and as I became better, opportunities started coming to me. That's the magic of it. When you become more, you attract more. Most people have it backward. They think, once I have success, then I'll change, but that's not how it works. You don't get healthy, then start acting like a healthy person. You act like a healthy person, then you get healthy. You don't get discipline, then start making good choices. You make good choices, then you become disciplined. You don't get wealthy, then start managing money wisely. You manage money wisely, then you get wealthy. You have to become the person first. The results will follow. That was the lesson. That was what changed my life forever. Everything changed the moment I stopped waiting and started becoming. The moment I took responsibility for my habits, my mindset, my daily actions. My life started moving in a new direction. Success isn't something you create, because success isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. Mr. Schofield's words didn't just give me advice. They gave me a new way of seeing the world. If you don't have the results you want, don't blame the world. Look in the mirror. Change your habits today. If you want more, become more. If you want to change your future, change your habits today. It's easy to wish things were different. It's easy to complain. It's easy to hope for some lucky break. But none of that will change your life. What will change your life is you. The moment you stop making excuses, the moment you stop waiting, the moment you start acting like the person you want to become right now, before the results show up. Because results are never the starting point. They are the consequence of who you are. If you want success, don't chase it. Become the person who attracts it. If you want wealth, don't just wish for more money. Become the person who can handle it. If you want discipline, don't wait to feel motivated. Act with discipline until it becomes who you are. Because the truth is, everything you want is on the other side of who you are willing to become.